let's start the day with today's session, Rethinking Integration. I think the speaker doesn't need any introduction, but I'm very honored to just point out some of the achievements he's done. He's been an MVP for the past 10 years. He's an international speaker, and we've been seeing that people eagerly wait to watch his sessions. With no further delay, please welcome the Brad Pitt of integration. The man with blue eyes and long blonde hair, Nino Crudele.
Hey guys. So, look at me now. After 15 years working in BizTalk, everything disappeared. No blonde hair, nothing like that. So, I need to be, I like to be quite energetic and quick because I have a lot of things to show you today. So, first of all, some credits. I need to thank you to Rui Romano. He's a Microsoft MVP for Power BI. He supported me about many stuff on Power BI, explained me about something about the engine and so on. And so I really thank you to Rui Romano. He's working in DevScope with Sandro Pereira. First of all, everything I'm going to tell you during this session is based on a true story. Okay, so, so believe me, everything I'm going to show you is something I normally do in my life, and everything happened with my customer and so on. So just I hope you enjoy everything. So first of all, I work a lot for this session. And, in the last 2 months, it was really bad for me, and not just for me, for my family as well. And 2 weeks ago, I was in a vet. Just to give you an example, I was in a vet with my wife. At some point, my wife looked at me. It was, just weird look. And so I didn't realize why. You know why? I was wearing 2 different shoes. My wife put this in the Facebook. I was shocked. Also, if you see, this one was the shoes on the right. It is something I use for the skateboarding, so it's pretty messy. It was quite embarrassing. By the way, I'm Nino Crudele. I have my own small company, Rethink One-to-One Ltd, and Microsoft MVP, you know that, so speaker, blogger, and contributor. And I'm really good source code contributor. I like to contribute a lot about the source coding. And most of all, I like to spend just a bit about the Microsoft MVP program. We have a lot of MVP here, okay? Microsoft MVP program is something, guys, really important. For me personally, it's a second family. I have a lot of friends inside, and really good guys, all clever guys. I recommend you to join the MVP program. It is something that is going to provide you a really good and strong opportunity in your life and your career. So if you have any question or something, just speak with any MVP inside the room and inside the event. Other than that, my hobbies, I really do love chess. And also, I really do love skateboarding with my dog, but he really hates absolutely my skateboard. So he just tried to bite me anymore. It's just crazy. So go for the agenda. The agenda is going to speak about me, my person, and I was thinking about how to explain that in the best way. So 2-3 years ago, I started building some stuff for my job, for my customers, and so on. I started presenting something, and it was during 2015. And I received this tweet. I received this tweet from a person that I really respect. It's Dan Rosanova. Dan Rosanova is really brainful mind, really brilliant person. And this tweet is going to explain my person for sure. I'm a person that likes to play with technology. I really do like playing with technology. I like to think about technology in a different way. I like to do that with my customer. And this is something I really love to do in my job. I put a lot of passion in my job every day and with my customer. And this is something I think is really important to do, because the customer needs to be happy, need to trust you, absolutely. And I like to play in any way with technologies. For instance, I like to use different also quotes with my customer. And believe me, it is true. My customer use these words. Some of the guys are laughing here because they know that, right? So, for instance, I call BizTalk Bitsy, and my customer called BizTalk Bitsy. What I like most about BizTalk is probably one of the only technology in the world able to work in the batching mode and unrecoverable interchange in a very good way. And there is one thing only in the world able to do that, and it's a woman. This is why BizTalk is a woman for me. DEFCON 1 is just because my customer manager used this kind of terminology when they got a big problem. They sent me in Vietnam 2 weeks to 1 month ago, and what you know the call was the call was, "Hi Nino, we are in DEFCON 1. You need to get and go in Vietnam." And you know, normally they used to say, "Take the red phone and call him." But last and not least is chicken way. You know what the chicken way is? I do love do kayaking. So kayak, you have 2 options in kayak. You have the first one, which is the proud way, really good. I mean, you're going down, good fall. You need to be proud of that, and you are happy for that. The second one is the chicken way, right? So you can just get another, way. It's just easier way if you want, okay? And I start presenting my quotes last year and people start enjoying using this. My customer used that, okay? And a friend of mine, Kent, where is there, he starts saying, I really do like using this one during my job. And I use this one in my job. When I'm in a meeting and we're discussing about a solution to do or to use, well, sometimes you can use a very good solution. Otherwise, you can use a chicken way solution. Like, I don't know, we can solve the same thing using a polling and check, something really bad or dirty solution. So in that case, I like to say, this is a chicken way, man. And I create the red card for the chicken way. And I use this one in a meeting room, and believe me, now the manager are using that, and my friend as well. When a person does something wrong, it's just say, yeah, this is a chicken way, man. Certify. So you will have some of this card if you want, so you can use this with your friends. This is the red card. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So you don't have idea how the guys enjoy this one. Yeah, okay, go back. I'm really curious about one thing. Yesterday, my daughter asked me about, Dad, what is BizTalk? I say, my first answer, 12 years old, and said, yeah, BizTalk is a very powerful messaging engine. So you know what my daughter said? Say, yeah, so why you don't just use WhatsApp? That's cool. You know what? I laugh so much. Because in the same time, I was shocked. Because my brain starts thinking and say, well, she is true. She is right. Why just use WhatsApp? I started realizing how people get perception about technology just because what they listen in, the communication they have about these kind of technologies. I mean, about BizTalk, Logic App, Azure, everything like that. And sometimes people get a wrong way or a good way using a technology. And many times people asking me what I like to use about technology and so on. What I mean, I can say I like to use a proper technology able to solve my specific problem and make the customer happy. That's it. I use any kind of technology, right? So if I need to say people ask me sometimes, what's your top stack, okay, in general? What do you normally use, like to use during your job? Yeah, I love BizTalk. This is endless love with this framework. It's amazing, it's fantastic. It's because it's solid. It's solid. It's absolutely solid. And you don't realize, and you will see during this session what you are able to do using BizTalk. Okay, you don't realize how you are able to extend BizTalk. And also all the other stuff about, blobs, everything, service fabric. I'm not going to read all these lists. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to do that in the slide. But it's important for me get a proper positioning about the technology you're going to use. So, important thing is, I start having a lot of challenging in my job in UK with different customers, public sector and government, and was also capital and so on. And so most of them, they have many different problems. I'm going to show how I solve some of them. And to solve this problem, I start thinking, okay, I'm going to build my stuff. I'm going to build something able to solve all of this problem. So I'm going to explain how it's just a framework, is able to work. So imagine that people ask you about something that now is really required, is hybrid integration. So sending information across the system. Everywhere, and integrate stuff in very easy way, fast way, everywhere. And need to be fast, because business is fast. So imagine you can install a point. With this point is just a radio point. Imagine a radio, okay? And with this radio, you start, and you can put inside this radio trigger, event, and a kind of chain which is able to execute a component, okay? It's not like a pipeline, it's a chain. It's a bit different concept. So you can also close a chain, you can attach a chain with other chain, you can compose chain together, right? After that, you turn on this radio, and this radio is going to start a channel, right? It's going to start transmit. And is available, right? When I start the channel, I'm going to start another point somewhere, which could be in any part in the world, or any kind of system, anywhere. And when I start the second point, it's time to synchronize to the first one. And because it's going to synchronize, it's going to exchange trigger, event, and chain together. So they are aligned together. And they are able to use the same thing and consume the same thing together. Well, if I'm going to install a third point, so the third one is going to be synchronized as well. It's going to be synchronized with the trigger, event, and so on. So using this methodology and using a really strong abstraction, using for the channel, event, and so on, I've been able to use a lot and solve a lot of problems about hybrid integration. And believe me, it was in very, very powerful way. What I'm saying, I explained this in very simple way, guys, but believe me, inside is really, really complex stuff. Okay, I worked on that for 3 years. And you can install the point in different way, like MS-DOS application or Windows NT service, or you can host inside a component, DLL, or other application as well. And so this DLL or component or application is going to be extended with this capability as well, right? So I can also, and this is what I did for my customer, I can also embed the same thing and the same feature inside all the other stack, like application, like Logic App, like Service Fabric. I do love Service Fabric for scaling, but look at that inside BizTalk. This is going to extend BizTalk in really powerful way. I believe you will see that. Of course, Linux, Docker, and virtual machine as well. So let me explain very briefly about the two different scenarios we are going to look today now. And we will be back in this slide if we have time. I'm going to explain just a bit better. So all of us, you know about these slides very well. This is BizTalk Server. So in the first scenario, the customer, he was a big customer, is a big customer, 15 BizTalk boxes running. 15 BizTalk boxes running, guys. You can integrate the world. The entire world with the boxes. Yeah, seriously, come on, guys. When I look at the infrastructure, this was my first question to the customer. What are you doing? Are you integrating the world? What? 15 BizTalk boxes? Seriously? You know? So, and the problem, it was, a quite curious problem. They need to change approach for some of the processes inside, many of the processes, honestly, and they needed to change the process they obtained and get the real-time performances with this process in BizTalk, okay? This is quite complicated to achieve with BizTalk because, you know, BizTalk is a reliable system. It uses reliability, it uses SQL, you know, so you are expert about BizTalk. I don't need to explain you nothing. So what I did, I embed the framework inside BizTalk. I will show you the result later. And the customer comment, it was a kind of WTF, okay? It was pretty awesome. Also, another problem was about integration. So they look for a specific integration with BizTalk in the project. It was something that was coming out during a project. And we solved this problem in very good way. It was about the mediation in BizTalk server side. The second scenario is about a customer. It was looking for really strong hybrid integration, point to point, okay? Sending files, sending any kind of data, but most of them files and so on, and need to be really usable, really fast to do, and with monitoring, real-time monitoring, and real-time tracing, and everything need to be real-time and, you know, really fast everywhere. So I have a point to point to point. I want to start integrating the point with the second point, changing the integration stack, and I like it to be able to integrate the 2 points really fast. I don't want to think about deploying something there, deploying something there. I like to decide to use a different integration. I like to do that in very fast way, right? So what I did, and this is a good opportunity to explain how it works, I just use everything inside the cloud. So essentially, the framework uses everything for transmission is Redis cache, event tabs, and service bus. So he's able to use a different provider. So I mean, in general, it's just think about something completely abstract. The framework per se, the messaging is just the messaging engine per se is able to use or change a different kind of messaging provider depending about the specific problem for a specific integration channel, for instance, okay? So as you know, event tabs, this is endless love for me because it's amazing. It's reliable, you are able to drive your messaging queue in very easy way, it's fast, it's scalable, it's amazing. You are really able to do really good stuff with event tabs. I absolutely love using Relay a lot. Logic App, I do love Logic App. I see Logic App, and I use Logic App in situations like orchestration. Okay? This is my view, you know, about how I use Azure right now. So if I need, sometime I need it, to drive different integration points together in a strictly way in a process, Logic App is the solution. Okay? There is no many other option in the cloud to do that. Logic App is absolutely awesome to do that. It's fantastic. It's an orchestrator. It's an awesome orchestrator, right? And for storage, well, okay, you know, blobs. I like to use a lot of blobs. You know why? Because it's cheap. Really cheap. And customers love that a lot. I'm able to send, believe me, I'm able to send 100 megabyte file, 1 gigabyte file, no problem at all. I'm using event tabs, Redis cache, everything like that. And behind that, there is a complex system using blob and so on. So the system is still cheap, you know, to use, because I don't use expensive stuff to do that also. So let's see something real. So this one is a virtual environment. We have a BizTalk here. And this is something you will see also in Sandro's session. Okay, this is a simple BizTalk project with a flat file pipeline and a transformation. And so the scenario is a WCF service sending data. So a client system sending data to a WCF service, which is going to receive flat pipeline, transformation, call a REST service, a stub REST service, back the response, right? So what we are going to measure now is not the number of the message in multi-threading, but we are going to measure the real time, okay? So how much I'm going to spend for a request response, right? Using BizTalk. And you will have a lot more detail in Sandro's session. So let's start the first one, which is, this one is BizTalk. So I started the REST service. This one is the REST service, the stub REST service. And I start running this one, hopefully, yeah. This one is start running. It's pretty good. Okay, with Sandro's session, you will see something better, okay? We tried with Sandro, and I think Sandro achieved something like 88 millisecond a message or something like that, which is pretty good, okay? This is a request response, right? So with BizTalk, we have, in this simple scenario, 100 millisecond, 88 millisecond, or something like that, right? With the customer, the problem was bigger because he was using more stuff inside, you know, some more transformation and other stuff inside. So the timing was more, you know, relevant than this one. But this one is just to give you an idea. So what I did is install this framework inside BizTalk. This framework is living inside BizTalk. And I can use this one everywhere inside BizTalk, orchestration, adapter, everywhere, okay? And you don't need to use your code, nothing. You keep your pipeline, you keep your transformation, don't touch anything, nothing. And this is the result, hopefully it's running. Boom, look. 7 millisecond a message. Now. So the customer comment was a WTF. But you know what the most important result was? You know what? The customer was happy and kept BizTalk and keep using BizTalk. Because the perception was, I'm not able to achieve these performances with BizTalk. So what I'm going to do, I explained to the customer, man, you don't need, I mean, you can extend BizTalk. You can keep BizTalk, you just extend it. You can do anything you want with BizTalk. You can create new adapter, you can create new stuff. What's the problem? And after that, the customer was really happy. Second customer, let me show you this one. It was a different problem, honestly. It was like integration. So we start building this project. You know, it's always, you know, same problem. Sometimes, you know, you need to adapt your mediation with BizTalk, but not just BizTalk, with everything. So mediation is a big problem in integration stack, you know. So sometimes you need to adapt your mediation. It could be your system or the destination system or the source system, you know. So it's a kind of usual problem. And so what I like to achieve, it was made me crazy, it was I'd like to have something that is able to change or adapt or improve the mediation in very fast way. I don't like, you know, to mediate my system or mediate the source system, developing code there in source or destination. So what I did, I inject this framework inside an adapter, in a BizTalk adapter. So and the result is quite impressive because essentially I do have a kind of generic adapter, we can invent any kind of name, guys. Okay, you can also you can choose the name when you install the adapter. Just in this demo is universal adapter. It's quite universal adapter. The customer was laughing. He said, "What? A universal adapter? What is that? It's universal. You can do anything you like with this adapter. So the point was, this customer was using files a lot, integrating files. And the same problem every time, It's like, okay, take this file, and please take this file with this specific value inside. And you know what? In this file, we have a lot of junk. Can you please clean the junk inside this file? And also, when you get this file, please keep the file in the folder. It just flag as done. I say, yeah, well, okay. In my mind, in the meantime, will start thinking, well, orchestration, orchestration to the back, it's going to save in the backup, it's going to the other side. So you know what? You know what I was thinking about. My brain was starting, it started scaring. My heart was. I'm going to do that with the customer. So, So what I did was, well, Nino, you need to invest something here. You need to find a very clever solution. So I inject the framework inside the adapter, and the result is essentially this one. So when you install the framework is going to install inside the folder, inside the BizTalk folder, and you install the adapter. So you have this, you can decide the name you like, universal adapter, and I create a receive location with this universal receive location. So I'm going to start the universal receive location, okay? And so the point is, just look about the demo here. I have the folder, but I'm really keen to show you how this works very briefly. Is when you install, everything is going inside BizTalk. So BizTalk is going to change. So my baby is not the same anymore. It's different. It's powerful. It's a different thing. I don't know. I do explain that. It's a really good sensation. I mean, So, and you have the possibility to extend this adapter in any way, and using JSON configuration. So you can extend this adapter using .NET coding, C# scripting, or PowerShell. So you can create a BizTalk adapter using PowerShell or .NET. It's very, very easy, okay? And you can solve integration or mediation problem really, really, really fast. So think about, you need to do something critical. You develop your trigger, very easy to do. And after that, just build your DLL, put the DLL in a folder, create a JSON file, configure the JSON file, and use it using BizTalk. And for this specific trigger, which is a file trigger, is this one. Yeah, using a specific pattern, batch file, and so on, but also using a regex pattern to look inside the file. Okay, this is what is going to check for a specific date. So the customer was looking, please remove any row from the file. They contain really junk stuff about date, right? And more than that is going to check for any row and so on, right? And after that is going to rename is done. This one is the extension. So looking in the demo, let me get the folder here. This should be this one. Yeah. So this one is the file. It essentially is, you see, 300 or something, 349 rows is a CSV file. I'm going to rename this one in CSV. CSV is everything is working awfully. Yeah, done. It's got it. And there is a send port, a BizTalk send port. Is sending the result, okay, in this folder, right? So I'm going to open this one. Let me open this one using, it was 340, I don't remember now, but you can trust me. So it's something less. It's kind of, you see, 346 or something like that. So you remove the row and change and put the file in the other side. So do the same thing using, orchestration and so on. You're going to spend a long time. right? But using this kind of approach is quite easy and really, really fast. You can do the same thing using, not this customer. This was an IT administrator. This was quite funny. Because he decided to push in BizTalk, event viewer event in BizTalk, you know. So I suggest him, well, you know PowerShell, just use PowerShell, right? So, and there is a PowerShell scripting running, which is in this folder here. I don't remember, it was, yeah, this one. Just pick it up a file. This one is just a PowerShell script running and pick it up a file. And essentially, it's running exactly in the same way. There is no any difference. So essentially, you can just rename this one. So the difference is just because this one is using PowerShell instead of using .NET code. Done. So this one now is the out folder. And this one uses PowerShell. So thinking about how to extend BizTalk in this way is really, really powerful. You can solve integration problem in a minute. In a minute. You just build your code, and you mediate in very, very fast way, right? Second scenario, it was a bit crazy, this one. This one was a customer. This one is a pretty big customer. I think this one is Birmingham. So they installed the point in different points in UK and so on, okay? And the requirement was, Nino, we really want a real-time integration and extend the system in very, very fast way, right? So what I did is I installed all this point, and the customer start installing this point and exchange triggering event between all of them. But most important was also the auditing and the tracing. And to do that, I use Power BI. You know Power BI, right? Okay? I do love Power BI. You don't have idea what Power BI is able to do if you use Power BI in a proper way. Hopefully, I'm able to show you something today. So I'm going to open this one. So think about, we have 5 different environments here. It was in different country. In different town in UK, right? And different integration point running, okay? And they exchange here in this demo, I use different data. This customer is using very critical data, really secure data. And the achievement was, I really do want real-time hybrid integration, real-time advertising, point-to-point in my on-premise site, okay? I can give you more information, not on the stage, because it was a security project, okay? So let me start. This one is, I should have here Power BI running. I fight a lot with Power BI. You don't have idea. I really thank you to Rui Romano. He's a really good guy. He explained me a lot about Power BI. He opened my mind. So I started developing a lot of stuff on top of that. So this one is Power BI. You know that. I have different dashboard, okay? And I'm going to open, this one is a demo application. This one, essentially, this one is going to simulate the transmission between the point, guys. This is for real time, okay? Believe me, I can show you, we don't have time here, but I can show you everything in detail. But believe me, in any system, there is a different agent running right now, in any virtual machine, okay? Any of them, okay? So the demo, the Windows form is going to simulate and putting information inside specific folders. And this point, they start exchanging data together, right? So let me start with something. It was, yeah, really short time. Right, bye. So start with Birmingham. Hopefully everything is running. Boom. You see what is happening now? This one is going to jeez. Norwich. I knew that, guys. Demo effort. Come on. Seriously? This was running right now. Jeez. Yeah, it was. Sorry, guys. By the way, you see the real-time running now in Power BI. So this is something really weird. So I'm going to show you this in this way. Where is it? Yeah, let me show you that. I'm clever, guys. I record the demo. So you can see the demo. I mean, the entire demo. You see, now you saw the real time, okay? This is running. You see now the London point is running, and Birmingham is coming up. Yeah? And I start sending messages to Cambridge and all the other towns, right? So in the during, Power BI is going to refresh the dashboard in real time. And this one, guys, is real time using Power BI reporting. So when the engine starts, it starts getting data, everything, tracing, and the customer, in automation, is going to find the data set inside Power BI, and is able to use the data set to create any kind of report, pin on the dashboard, and is able to see the dashboard running in real time. And I think this one is pretty awesome. All right? You see, this is going to update in real time, continuously. The customer was really happy about that, believe me. And they are using now. They are using now. And you can do a lot of interesting statistics inside, tracing and so on. Which message is using more kind of messages, which kind of messages, and so on. But most of them, inside the engine, in using a concept of business activity monitoring. So during running, let me show you this. The system is running, and this one is the total incoming and so on. So let me see if this one is running. Now, let me check this one. Is something happened here? You see it's changing. See the number? You see the number in the dashboard is changed? Do you see that? Yeah, it's more, okay. Let me do that. No, I can't do that in this way. Do that. You see? It's changing in real time. That's pretty awesome, guys. This is real-time Power BI using any kind of, this is custom visualization also. If you look, some of these are using custom visualization. I use custom visualization for Power BI, and I use this custom visualization, pin on a dashboard, and I'm able to use custom visualization in Power BI from my integration point in real time. That's pretty awesome. And the customer enjoy and love that because, you know, many times customers just like it, stay in front of a dashboard like that and see, let me see what's happening right now. I don't want to spend my time looking something like that. It's going to be crazy. Come on. Yeah? So that's pretty awesome. I really love that. And the customer enjoy a lot. So, well, guys, we don't have so much time, but I think I was able to do anything possible for the demo. And one more thing, I use this kind of approach, and I use a lot Azure for that. I mean, the guys, the Azure team, I really love the Azure team now. It's really awesome team. And also the BizTalk team is, Todd is doing a really good job with BizTalk, in my opinion. Now I see a really good stuff changing and so on in BizTalk. This is a really good job. And I also see the guys, there is a really good communication, really active people, and this is really helpful for people like me that need to work every day, improve the system, or, you know, every time experimenting. So it's really important having a really strong communication with them. Before it was different, years ago, now it's completely different. I can just send an email and get a response very quickly. It's very good, a strong relation. It's just with me because I'm an MVP, with all the people in general. So it's really good. So I'm really happy for that. So, and I use this stuff everywhere, you see. And I have an IT administrator. He's using this framework to governance. Is going to build some PowerShell scripting and so on, checking stuff inside the system. If something happens, he's going to fire backup another job in the other system everywhere. Okay, I don't care what he's doing. It's not my responsibility, honestly. So it's up to him. So that's it. I think it's all. And if you have any question on something, you will find me here or outside. Happy to show you anything you like about what I show you in the demo. And if you want to know more about my job or what I'm doing, just contact me. That's my address, my Twitter, my blog, and so on. Feel free to call me anytime or just contact me here during I'm here. This is a good opportunity because I'm here by person, okay? So thank you so much.